I get the big boy pulpit. Good afternoon. First and foremost, let me say on behalf of the graduating class, to our families, to our friends, thank you. Thank you for supporting us. Thank you for praying for us. Thank you for holding our hands in the midst of all of this. We're eternally grateful. So as I begin my address, I'm reminded of the Reverend Dr. J. Wendell Mapson, who told us at the annual UTI lecture that lecture is spelled S-E-R-M-O-N. So I found that there's a misprint inside of the program because address is actually spelled S-E-R-M-O-N. For the time that is ours to share together, I want to do a quick reading and preach from the topic of finding the good in the dark. My text is found in John 1, verses 43 through 46. And it reads, "The next day Jesus decided to go to Galilee. He found Philip and said to him, 'Follow me.' Now Philip was from Bethsaida, the city of Andrew and Peter. Philip found Nathanael and said to him, 'We have found him, about whom Moses in the law and also the prophets wrote, Jesus, son of Joseph from Nazareth.' Nathanael said to him, 'Can anything good come out of Nazareth?' And Philip said to him, 'Come and see.'" May the Lord add a blessing to the hearing and reading of his holy word. Finding good in the dark. In French, the word commencement actually means the beginning. I know this may be a little difficult for you to hear because you're prepared to receive your degree and say it is finished with the seminary. But actually, this is not the end of the road. This is a bend in the road that brings us to our new beginnings. But let's think about this. All of our years of preparation is for this moment where we can leave and go out into the world and become public servants. And we know that alongside all that we've learned and all of the people we've met and encountered, there's so much more that we don't know. But since a hint to the wise is sufficient, I have some news that you may want to know. They don't tell you that you're going to be the biblical scholar in every room that you walk in from here on out. They didn't tell you to be prepared to answer any questions about the Bible from here on out. They didn't tell you that you would be the professional prayer warrior wherever you go. And another one of those things that they didn't tell you is that people are always watching you and waiting to see how they can judge you. It is a reality that people will judge you before they ever get the chance to know you. To someone, you aren't the right race. You aren't the right gender. You don't have the right age. You don't identify with the right sexual orientation and not a part of the right socioeconomic class. And therefore, you are deemed worthy of judgment. It is common for people to acquire a minute piece of information about you and consider their ability to write your life's narrative. Sometimes it might be something minor, like for me, people think because my parents are from the islands, I'm supposed to like goat. Actually, I prefer Philly cheesesteaks. But there are some people who judge you on a larger platform and treat you as such. People who could have came to you and had conversation to speak with you at length about you and anchor what they have to say about you. But that's where we find ourselves right here in the text. Now, we all know that Jesus had just completed his time of study at the Lutheran Seminary in Galilee. We know. And was preparing to go out into the world to serve as a mission developer. We know this. He's building an elite team of disciples who will aid in the development of this mission. He reaches out to Philip, and Philip is excited. He comes to Nathanael and tells him that we have found the one who Moses has spoken about, the one who they talked about in the law. We found the one, and he's from Nazareth. But Nathanael's not impressed. So as Jesus found himself at the beginning of his public ministry, someone judged him based off of where he came from. Have you ever been judged based off of your past? I mean, it doesn't matter if it was a week ago or 20 years ago, but the pain of your past can still cause pain in your future. It could have been because of all the rumored messiahs who had come before Jesus, but it's still painful to hear. Jesus hasn't even had the opportunity yet to speak on his own behalf, but he's being judged. Nathanael says, can anything good come out of Nazareth? You don't understand what Nazareth is, and because I have studied under the wits of the Dr. Allison DeForest, I know a little bit about Nazareth. So let me teach you something about Nazareth. So Nazareth is a dark place that doesn't have its priorities in order. It's a city that has a dilapidated school system with state-of-the-art prisons. It's a city filled with condemned homes and filled with people experiencing homelessness. It is a city filled with people struggling with opiate addictions, but has forgotten to put the weight on the malpracticing prescribers. It's a city without a hope for a future. It's a city filled with the indictment of barrenness and the restraints of productivity. There is no love there. There is no joy there. There is no peace there. There is no patience there. There's no kindness there. There's no goodness there. There's no faithfulness there. There is no gentleness there. And there's sure enough ain't no self-control. There is nothing but lack there. This is not the place you want to vacation in. This is not the place where you want to pop the question. This isn't the place, parents, I want y'all to listen in. This isn't the place where you send your kids as a graduation present. Because this place is not luxurious or royal. How could you say that the one we've longed for and the king that we hoped for is from that place? Surely the residue of that environment would have rubbed off on him and tainted him. Even if he is who we expected him to be, by now he's corrupt. As if this couldn't seemingly get worse, my siblings in Christ, I want you to know, I know about another Nazareth. This Nazareth is a place where people of diverse contexts, traditions, and understandings come together to be equipped to preach a living gospel to a changing world. This Nazareth is a place where public theology is taught, but in the times of trouble, private collusion takes place. This is a place that preaches grace and forgiveness, but when it's time to act, falls short of the glory and honor of God. This place puts a magnifying glass on things that happened 20 years ago, but disregards the things that happened last week. This Nazareth is the place that slays its God-appointed prophets and then asks God, will we have another? This Nazareth has been under the scrutiny of every major newspaper in the Philadelphia and Gettysburg area. I know you've heard of Nazareth. And we were shown that we couldn't show grace in the right moment. Can you imagine a seminary? I mean, can you imagine a city called Nazareth? This Nazareth, my brothers and sisters, is in our DNA and will follow us for the rest of our Christian ministry. People will see our resumes and ask, can anything good come out of this Nazareth? We carry the weight of this statement into our various calls of ministry, but the blessing of it all is still in the text. In the text, I found that without any words from Jesus, there is a response. Philip responds to Nathanael to offer him insight by a mere suggestion of coming into the proximity of the promise. I'm going to say that again. Philip responds to Nathanael to offer him insight by a mere suggestion of coming in proximity of the promise. Our generation needs to find that good amidst this dark and barren time. So let us begin to look, because when we find the good in the dark, there will be peace in the middle of the storm. When we find the good in the dark, justice will roll down like a river, and righteousness like an ever-flowing stream. When we find the good in the dark, the hungry are fed, and the thirsty are given drink. When we find the good in the dark, the naked are clothed, the sick are cared for, and those who are in prison are visitated. When we find the good in the dark, the wicked shall cease from troubling, and the weary shall be at rest. When we find the good in the dark, the church will do justice. It will love kindness, and it will walk humbly with our God. Philip, y'all can sit down. Come on, y'all. Come on. Don't push me. Don't push me. Philip seemingly says, I know you know the root of this Nazareth, but the fruit is ripe and ready for harvest. So I say with all confidence that if there's anything good in Nazareth, my friends, it's you. If there is a promise for the hope of the future, my friends, I'm sure it's you. If I had to believe that there has to be someone to hold on to the horns of the altar and drive the church where it needs to go, my friends, I got all confidence in you. And I'm sure it's you. But there is still a need to reveal the good hidden within you, because the world can't wait any longer. So I can't stand here like Philip and say to Nathaniel, come and see, to all of our ill sayers, but rather I charge you to go and show them.